Alright, this is Calibos, and we are probably playing StoneBlock 2, probably. So I finished this. We have a little fountain, endless water, of course, it's exciting. And weird, it looks really weird. And I finished this room too, which gave us a lot of stone, honestly. A lot of stone. And I would have gotten further, but honestly, I got really tired of digging. So we're going to do things that aren't digging related, or at least not immediately digging related, which involves doing quests. So part of what I did was, yeah, right, that's that. Part of what I did was, you'll notice that these are now compressed. I ran out of room. So this represents 328 times 9 cobblestone. They are condensed cobble. If I pull one out, you can see compressed cobblestone, cobblestone. Also, I made a crafting table on a stick because it is the most amazing thing ever in existence and my favorite. So we have crafting table on a stick. So you'll also notice that I have a compressed stone hammer. Compressed stone hammer. This is the recipe for it. Compressed stone hammer. So you take 9 of the regular stone hammers, which you already saw me make, and you put together and you get a compressed stone hammer. The benefit to the compressed stone hammer is it allows you to take a compressed cobblestone and turn it into gravel, like that. At which point, if we're super excited about it, we can whack it again. Now we have dirt. You remember this progression, right? And that gives us compressed dirt. And that gives us sand. So we're going to go all the way down to dust. And not just because it's entertaining. I mean, it kind of is. But now have compressed sand. So you'll notice that there is the regular sieve, and then we have the heavy sieve. I'm going to get rid of this one because I hate it. Dark oak is the best. Everybody knows that. And it allows you to sift the entire compressed block all at once. So we got crushed black quartz, silver ore, gunpowder, and nickel ore piece. So very helpful. I was kind of hoping for redstone, but you know. But sieving the gravel got me these iron ore pieces. So with the iron ore pieces, we can go ahead and make iron ore chunks, which, if I melt it down, I get, guess what? Now, I don't want to melt it all at once because right now this is only going to give us a single iron ingot each. Also, I went ahead and mapped this key. So we need to get up to the mining dimension. In order to get to the mining dimension, we need to basically dig upward a lot. Another thing that we would kind of like to do, although I don't see a quest for it here, is we're going to take this tank and we're going to grab some of this, and I'm going to show off another thing I made. So this is a builder's wand. It is the stone version of the builder's wand, and it allows me to place rapidly. And we are out, so let's build some more hammers. So 1, 2, need some sticks. We'll do this. Pull these apart. 1, 2. Sticks, like so, and that gives us the stone hammers we need. The uses for the stone hammers gives us the, has to be a fully repaired hammer. And they typically have more durability, but you can see that it's not a lot more, which, I mean, except for the speed, it's kind of, eh. So our goal here, and we do have one, I swear, is we're trying to get all of these down to dust. We're also going to need to make sand, but dust is the most important thing. And honestly, I'd have done this already if I'd thought about it, but I didn't. So let's figure out what I did with my bucket. I have a bucket. So you saw how we made the clay before, and honestly, I recall making the bucket and then setting it in the furnace to fire. If you don't remember, clay bucket is just, you know, a smelted version of an unfired clay bucket, which is just clay done in a bucket design. No big deal. But what this is good for is now later on we'll be able to automate this we'll be able to automate this, which will make it much faster. But you can tell how exciting sky blocks are, or from nothing packs, really. But doing this in bulk like this, while it's kind of not very much fun right now, means that later on our processes will be slightly better. So one of the goals that we have is I'm going to try and make enough grout so what we're making is grout, this. So we can use either one of these recipes. They basically work out the same. So 1 clay block equals 4 clay balls. And so we have 4 sand and 4 gravel. So if we have 1 sand and 1 gravel and 1 clay ball, which is this recipe divided by 4, we get 2 grout. So it doesn't matter which way we go. Although if you don't have a crafting grid, like a full crafting grid, or crafting table, then you can use this one in your inventory. Now, not all of this clay is going to go into making grout. We don't actually need that much of it. But this is going to go into us not having to make it later. And I'll admit I'm kind of dawdling a little bit because I would like to go ahead and see if anybody else is interested in like offering suggestions as far as where we want to go with this. So we need gravel and sand, storage. No, nothing in storage. Chickens, fluid cows. Oh my god, that's a tangled mess. Mystical agriculture, draconic evolution, project E. Can we make that? Philosopher's stone. So, I mean, honestly, given enough time, we can make this recipe everything on the outside. So the Ender Star, Dragon's Breath, Prismarine Shard, Black Quartz, we can make these. Nether Stars, maybe not. Dragon's Breath. Looks like we have to fight the end dragon. So let's do this. At least this part's going to go pretty quick. Because all we have to do is break this down. That gives us dirt again. That gives us sand. So, as I said, we can just take this, and this, and this, and that will give us 90 grout. Did I mess up my numbers? 45, that should have given us 90, but clearly it... Oh, it did. I'm looking at the clay balls instead of the grout, because I don't know why. So now we just kind of set the grout in here to cook while we're doing other things. And yeah. So let's level this. Speaking of leveling, I've been doing most of the digging with my pickaxe, and you'll notice that we are now adept. So I've leveled it twice, I think. Extreme crafting, Thaumcraft. I am not excited by Thaumcraft. So let's make a crucible. We have this. So we'll take some of our clay and some of our bone meal. And we're going to need more. 1, 2, 3. And that gives us the porcelain clay we need. And we'll drop that unfired crucible, chuck it in the top one. So there's two ways to make, apparently we were spelling it grip it. So using the grout, we can cook the grout and get seared bricks, right? So we can get seared bricks either through loot crates, cooking it here, or we can cast it, which means apparently there's a fluid cow for seared stone. But once we have our smelter going, we can actually just throw in cobblestone and some lava and do this. So one of the downsides of lava is it's very hot. So I don't know if you knew that, but lava is hot. But if we pick it up in our clay bucket, once we put it down again, the clay bucket dies. So we want to be handling lava in a metal bucket because apparently iron is strong enough to hold lava. Which may be the case for certain, certain things, I guess. We need glass. So let's go ahead and break that. chuck that in there. Now, the way that this crucible works is it's not super fast at first. And we're going to put our... It's actually one of the reasons I have this room. Is we're going to put our crucible in here. For the moment, we're going to put it there. But it will not live here forever. And we're going to grab some of our cobble, which I think we have a piece or two. Now, you can... I do not believe that you can put compressed cobble into this. Now you'll notice, if you look at the entry here, it says solid cobblestone. It holds a maximum of 1,000 solid cobblestone. And each piece of cobblestone is worth 250, so you can put 4 in. The next line shows how much lava is in there. Again, it holds up to 1,000, I think, maybe more. Might actually hold 4,000 of the liquid lava. And that number is independent of the cobblestone. As far as having it full of cobblestone doesn't stop it from holding any particular amount of the lava. The last number where it says rate is how fast it converts. You'll notice that every second or so it is converting. Well, it's probably every tick. I think there's 20 ticks in a second, give or take. But every time it is doing a conversion action, it is using a multiplier of 1s. Now, if we look at the crucible, so you can tell that we can make lava with cobblestone, granite, diorite, and andesite. And 4 of any of these give us a bucket. Now, if we look at heat sources, if we were actually, all of our torches use do 1. An actual fire is 5 times. Awakened draconium is 120. A megatorch is times 10. Plutonium is times 30. Lava is times 3. Block of uranium is times 20. Blazing pyrotheum is times 90. Superheating element from mechanism is times 60. So depending on... Ooh, that's not good. Caught an exception rendering a block. That was probably from the NEI or JEI entries, actually. But while that's going, we now have these. We now have our glass. We have these. So first thing we need is a place to store our fuel. That would be the seared tank. There is a task for that. Where is that? Smeltery. Oh, there we go. So let's make a drain. Let's make one of those and one of those. Okay, so this is actually the controller of the smeltery. This is where, this is the drain itself, and this is the faucet. So we're going to need 2 regular seared bricks and a casting table. Wow, they are right on. I like whoever came up with this because... This is par for the minimum size for the smeltery. So corners don't matter for the smeltery. So we're going to go ahead and drop this in the floor. Oh wait. How do we want to do this? Let's pull this back up. And stone. So we want the casting table. One, two, three. Yeah, because I like having 3x3 smelteries. We can actually make them bigger or smaller as we like, but I prefer 3x3s. So if we put this here, so drain works kind of like this. And then we'll put a chest underneath and a hopper. So that'll probably work, I guess. We have smart outputs. Smart. Nope. Fine. I don't have that. Whatever. So for the moment, in order for this to work, we need a base. We need a controller. We need a tank. And then we need to complete the thing. So you'll notice now that let's rearrange this slightly, actually. Do that. Do that. Do that. Do that. So you'll notice that it's got flames and stuff coming out of it. It's not hot. It's fine. Everything's safe. But what that means is the multi-block is formed. You'll notice that it has very few slots. What we can do is, if you look at it, it has a slot. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, now it has 2 slots. Now the amount of bricks that we have, we've actually got a couple more making at this point. There we go, 27. So we can actually make it slightly larger. The one that it wanted us to make is this size. And that's enough to get going. Once you give it lava, and we nearly have enough to start, we can go ahead and just pop the lava in there and begin smelting. So because we have more space, let's go ahead and see, 12. We'll make it bigger. So 1. What's the biggest we can make it, honestly? One of the reasons that I would like it to be larger is the bigger it is, the more we can smelt at once. And the more we can smelt at any given time, the faster we can expand how large it is. So let's pull this out. These are all bricks, all bricks, all bricks. So we have that one and that and that. Okay. So it doesn't have an output anymore, but we're almost there. So one of the important lessons to know about smelteries is it's a multi-block, sure. So the tank, when you put lava in it and you break the tank, it maintains the lava. So for example, if we were to do, oh, that was weird. and do this, we break it, you'll notice that it's actually even in the image, and we can just place it back down. Now, that is true of most of the blocks of the smelter. If we break any block except for the controller, when we reform it, the liquids will still be there. But the minute you break the controller, any liquids in it go away, with the exception of anything in the tank, because the tank is independent. But now that we have this, we can go ahead and begin melting our cobblestone down, which is a lot faster than doing our weird thing with the sand and the gravel and the clay. Now, we don't especially have a mold for it yet, so that's kind of an issue. But we can make a cast. So in order to make a cast, we'll have to take, an ingot and 2 gold or 1 aluminum brass. So aluminum brass is pretty simple. It is 1 copper to 3 aluminum. Let's see what we have in the shop. So iron. So here's some aluminum. Or aluminium, I guess, if you're anywhere but the US. So at this point, you'll notice that it's melted all of it down, and we have seared stone. Now, we can't do anything with it because we have no way of pouring it out. Like, we could pour it in, we can't pour it in this because it doesn't do it, because it needs a cast. So now that we have 2 separate liquids in here, by clicking on one liquid, any liquid, it moves it to the bottom. Now, this is an important lesson, and I got very angry when I was first learning how to use Tinker's Construct Smeltery, because I didn't know how to do that, and it was very frustrating. So, but once we have this, we can use one of our extraneous seared bricks and pour. And now we have a mold, and we can switch back to the seared stone and pour. Take it out and do it again. And that is how we are going to make more of these seared stone bricks. So on that note, I guess we've made some progress, and we'll just call it here. So I hope you guys liked the episode. I know it ran a little bit over, not as much as the Project Ozone one though, but you know how it is. Get excited. So yeah, I hope you liked it. Did leave a like. If you didn't, don't. Simple as that. Questions, comments, concerns can all go below. I'll try to get back to anything I can. And you folks have a great night.